This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by. Watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns. Don't you tread on my faith in God's only son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta and I am the Hillbilly. And it's another beautiful day in Fayette County. It's 64 degrees out, Nick just informed me. And it's pretty warm in here in the studio. I mean, feel like I'm in a sauna trying to lose weight, which should be okay. But anyways, today's show is being brought to you by Monarch Windows and Doors, Mauser's Garage and Tire Center, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery, Storage, and U-Haul, 724-323-3833. Country Motor Sales, 724-628-9190. Gary's Auto Sales, Tactical Civics, White Mountain Logging, Solid Foundation Ministries, New Life Free Methodist Church, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America, HillBilly Jon Radio, LLC, and you know what? Please go to the YouTube, HillBilly Jon Radio, and click on it and smash that like button. And John Marietta for We the People. Let's see. And Gino is back with us today. He was busy for the last few weeks, but he come back, and you're still building greenhouses?
Oh, yeah. We're still busy getting all our site work ready on some different jobs. It's that time of the year if anyone needs a shed or garage or a greenhouse.
Go down and see
Stop out and see us right on the highway.
Go down and see Gino at that's Fayette.
Fayette Structures.
Fayette Structures, and he's building these neat little greenhouses so you can raise vegetables clear into probably maybe even
stretch the season out. I think we're getting to a time where we're going to have to be more resilient with higher food costs.
Yeah,
you know,
I just seen a thing on that. A restaurant here in Fayette County posted the price of vegetable oil. Can you imagine? It went from like $12 for a container to like $28 a container in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I wonder how much of the inflation that we're seeing everywhere is just, how much of that's greed, how much of that's actual inflation. But the reality is it's hitting us the same. Mm-hmm. It's getting tough for people out there, the restaurants especially.
Hey, I want to start out with this. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him yourself. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. And that's Proverbs 26:4-5. My grandmother always told me you never argue with a fool because it brings you down to the same level. So I guess that's pretty much how what that means. When you start arguing with people that don't understand or they're trying to make their point and they don't have all the real information, then you end up with this. So
I learned that the hard way on Facebook. With the Facebook debates.
Everybody learns that
I think
the hard way.
Yeah,
that's why I stopped.
Part of the problem is, where do you get good information today? Everything's, we've had this discussion before. The press spins everything, and the fourth estate is we know it's dead.
Yeah.
It used to be that the press would hold. They would speak truth to power. That's always the big saying that you hear. Mm-hmm. But we don't have that anymore. We have the people in power telling the press what to do.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that it has changed, or do you think people have more access to information because of the social media outlets, knowing that what they're saying is not true?
Well, I think it's
or
both.
Fun.
Yeah, I think it's both. But I think we go back to talking about greed. Like we're talking about inflation. I think that the press has become greedy, and it's just become, your traditional press has been bought and paid for by the advertisers and lobbyists. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we're at right now. You have to come to a little radio station like WMBS to get the facts, right, Nick? Well, radio and citizen journalism is starting. I mean, a good local example. We have a former state representative that got in some trouble, and nobody's covering it. And it just blows my mind. We have a former state representative, Matthew Dowling, got arrested. And I'm looking here at this docket sheet. Not a peep in the Herald Standard or the Trib. So we know it happened. And, there's always more to the story. But as I'm looking at this was filed on February the 22nd at 2024. And then it says he bonded out, $10,000 bond was set, and he posted it. And the thing is, how is that not being covered by anyone?
I don't know.
You know, and then I look at the situation with our jail.
Mm-hmm. 200 days from the ribbon cutting. So they cut the ribbon. We're not sure the 4th or 5th of May, and it was like last Wednesday or Thursday before they moved anybody in. It was
okay.
200
So
days.
they have a ribbon cutting that was clearly before the primary. It was clearly a political, tactic. You know, we're paying PR companies to spin this thing, and they keep saying how great the jail is. And I got firsthand account with the state cops laughing. They were having a real jolly laugh when they moved those prisoners. Did you know that they moved them on buses? They didn't alert anyone at the courthouse at all, which I understand the reason for that. But they did it on a Tuesday. They could have done it on the Monday, was a holiday. And they could have used our local deputies
We could have
instead.
used our local deputies. That's
Right.
what should have been done.
Talk about a debacle. You thought they were moving Lex Luthor. And then when they, the way they had this high security, these are DUI shoplifting. There are, however, there's probably a few, hard cases in there that they could move. And what they should have done is moved them in a van, because they couldn't even get the buses into the jail. And that jail, there's no fence around it.
Or tax dollars at work.
Or tax dollars at work. So they had the extra hassle of they had to march them in there. They were exposed to the public even more.
Well, something about the buses, they used bigger buses than what the Sallyport was designed for.
They couldn't fit them in the gate.
They couldn't fit them in the gate. Or the gates
And they don't have a fence?
No, there's no fence around the jail. Listen, and this is insane. There's all kind of issues. And those issues, despite all the money, our tax dollars that were spent on PR, those issues are coming out. They're calling major changes that they're making in the jail now. They're calling them repairs. How can you have repairs on a brand new building?
Right.
Where do these right to know requests? I mean, we're going to keep digging and get to the bottom of it. But where is the press? Where's our press for issues on the jail? What about these politicians that they get in all this trouble? And believe me, there's a lot more to this story about Matthew Dowling. I'm sure it'll come out in time. But why do we have to hear about it on Facebook?
Well, I was in South Connellsville. Think about this. I was in South Connellsville last October, and I got pulled over. Okay, my license plate that was peeling. So anyways, I got pulled over. My license plate was peeling, and but I had to go back to the courthouse. And before I got back to the courthouse, by the time I got back to the courthouse, the officer at South Connellsville, he was very nice. But by the time I got back to the courthouse, one of the deputies was there, came out and met me at the gate, and he was laughing. He says, "You just got pulled over." And I thought, what did I get pulled over for? It was already over the radio that John Marietta got pulled over in South Connellsville. And he said, "What did you get pulled over for?" And I said, "Well, they let me go." I said, "It was because my license plate was peeling off." But and some of the state representatives are I guess they had license plate so you could get a new license plate.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't even get a half hour later. I didn't even get back to the.
So we have a press that has actually become oppressive, and it's really bought by they have an agenda. Now I'm not talking about Fox and MSNBC. I'm not talking about the C-SPAN versus Fox or anything like that. I'm talking about our local newspaper won't cover facts and it's not the individual reporter's fault. I understand that the owners of that paper made decisions to cut investigative staff, and unfortunately, it's turned into kind of a fluff. It's a way for them just to sell ads, and they get spoon-fed, what's going on from, frankly, people that aren't supposed to be trusted, that are supposed to be held in check. Our local politicians, they spin this stuff. And another example that's very critical, that's near and dear to my heart, is what's happening now at Penn State University. Yeah,
and let me say something before you get on to that. Let's get something clear right now. I want all the major. I want Penn State to stay here. I want Penn State to grow. I want my grandchildren to be able to go out there for 2 years, if possible, so I can keep them.
4 years, because you can get a 4-year degree at Penn State.
I mean, if they decide to become nurses, if they decide to do whatever, I want the nursing program to grow. I want us to have I don't know, what would that be, Nick? A Division III football team out there. I mean, that's what I want. I mean, and when we reported this, we have the facts to back this up of the different things. They're in a dilemma with over $100 million, and like Greg Stenstrom said, he said the governor could stroke a check to fix this if he wants to, but there's something else going on here. And then we do know that there was a meeting out of Penn State a couple of days. A day afterwards or 2 days afterwards, where they informed people that there was going to be layoffs, and they're going to I believe the word was streamline. Is that what they said? Well, yeah,
streamline. But here's this is where we need our press to be fair and accurate, and to tell the truth about things. All these things, when you have this distrust for your local paper. In fact, it hurts their subscription rate, for one. Right. And we are in a time where, media is really going online. I know that the Tribune Review over there has done a great job of doing a hybrid paper, and along with their digital online. It seems to be working over there. But, when we look at, like, Penn State University, as a county, that is our premier school. And if we were to ever lose Penn State, or it gets streamlined or shrunk, or there's a problem there, that you're not going to replace it. No. So, right now, we have just since 2010, according to Tribune Review, an article that I was reading, and they claim to have gotten this information straight from Penn State. The Fayette campus had over 1,303 students in 2010, and in 2022, they're only around 473. I think we're even a little lower than that now.
Well, some of that might be to do with online.
I was going to say, did some of the
sure, but right, but if you're online, that online is one of the pressures. Other schools, other options. Just unfortunately, a lot of people don't see the value in a degree. So you have that. You have the shrinking population. There's a lot of pressure. Yeah. So it's not that anyone out there, any one thing. It's a multifaceted, complicated problem. But the reality is that enrollment's down 64%. Right. So this trend they got to figure out a way to stop the trend. Yeah. This is, to me, looks like an emergency. Right. They are, internally they're having rallies at Penn State. So there's a Penn State rally for students and faculty, which that hopefully will raise some awareness amongst maybe some alumni. But, where are our political leaders at? Why aren't they having a rally for Penn State in front of the courthouse?
Because
we want to keep them here. This is the time where this is perfect time for, what's our representative's name? I can never remember. I never see him.
Oh, you're talking about,
what's his name again?
Oh, Ryan Warner.
Yeah, Hyde and Ryan, they call him.
Hyde and Ryan, yeah.
So this is a perfect time for Ryan Warner to step up. He's always wearing a Penn State hat. Where you at, Ryan? Jump out. I mean, it's campaign time. You should be leading the charge. Yeah. Senator Pat Stefano, Charity Grimm, all of them, and all the commissioners. Yep. And what scares me, the stuff that's sneaking through the press. No one's bashing Penn State here, right? No. This is all about, but they need they need some help. Yeah. And if if we can put pressure on the governor and say why our program's unique down here and how important it is to the people in Fayette County. Right. And because the messaging that's getting out there to the public is not right. And I think back to that March 16th, 2023 article that was done in the Daily Courier, where the commissioner's okay agreement with Salem University. Right. I'm not against Salem University, no. But the commissioners are taking, public action, public statements to encourage Salem University. And although I shouldn't say all the commissioners, because Commissioner Dave Lohr voted against the measure. And what he said, at this time, I am not ready to sign a memorandum of understanding with Salem University. And the reason for that is because we do have a college in our county. We need to have some discussions with that school. Lohr said. So, and he's referring to Penn State. And I sure hope they had those discussions. I want to go on. I want to give Dave Lohr some credit here because he certainly deserves it. I'm not totally against bringing any other schools in. But I think we need to actually look a little deeper at this also and find out what they offer. I will be voting no, not because I want to hinder in any way, shape, or form opportunities for schools. But he's conscious of the fact that if you bring Salem University or any other university into Fayette County, and that's, I'm just going to say, it's subpar to Penn State. So if you bring other, how's that going to affect Penn State?
Right.
The first rule of the commissioner should be, well, let's don't hurt anything. Let's not make the situation any worse.
Right.
And so we have to ride behind Penn State.
Part of that. I think the whole idea is to get somebody on the floor in that monstrosity down there at the Galton Bank building that they spent $5.2 million on.
Well, hey, but it's funny. You can see the difference between what smart people do and what people that aren't smart, what they do. So you have Penn State University talking about streamlining. They're shrinking down, and they're talking about cutting a third of their staff. Well, they're in trouble. We need to help them as a community.
Right.
Yeah.
And, these secrets and things and the press not getting involved. There are so many Penn Staters, in fact, you could really rally,
right.
And they could look at their program and see what they have to do to change or adapt.
Yeah.
But no one at Penn State, faculty that I've talked to, feels like they have the ear of University Park yet, So what has to happen? We need to rally, and we need our commissioners at the least, and our state representatives need to say, hey, what can we do to help you stop the bleeding?
Right, because we don't want to, we want Penn State Fayette campus to thrive because we want people to come to our county, to come to Penn State in order to help the economy of our county as well, right?
Yeah,
we don't want to
here's
deter
the thing.
people from being
we're,
here.
We're in a declining economy. It's been declining for a long time in our county, as evidenced by the WPIL, the schools that are.
We talked about this.
We were just talking about this. Connersville area high school's not in the WPIL anymore.
Neither is Uniontown. This is for football. Now, I don't know about some of the other sports, but football, I think the only two teams left is Laurel Highlands and Fraser. And but I believe most of Fraser is actually in, what would that be, Westmoreland County down there, Nick? Or would that be, but maybe Westmoreland. And we were talking,
these are things that happen when the community declines, and we have to be honest about that decline, and we have to pick our battles. So in the decline, one of the things that's kind of upsetting to me is the amount of effort, energy, and county resources that have been spent on this $40 million bridge to nowhere thingy-ma-dingy, whatever you want to call it, over the river down in Connersville.
Right.
Okay, whatever, they want to do that, but where's that energy for Penn State? Where's that energy to save Penn State, to help the campus? When I went to Penn State Fayette campus, there was just a few buildings. They've done great down there. Friends of mine, actually, there was one building, and now you've got the athletics, and their whole athletics program is completely self-sustaining. No tuition dollars go. Penn State does a really good job and has great arguments for why they need to be here in Fayette County. But the greater public's not hearing them, and our politicians have turned a deaf ear. They're busy working on these frivolous projects that frankly probably won't get funded, but you have to save, like Penn State. Yeah. It's a necessity. And I hope that
was there two buildings out there when you went, or was there three?
There were three.
Okay, and then there was the building where the gymnasium was down.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Because there was library, that
gymnasium's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, that nursing center is spectacular.
When I went when I was out there, of course that's been a long time ago. Anyways, the fencing was the big deal out there. They actually had somebody come in that was like an Olympic guy. So that's what we were about.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
So fencing. I was thinking of a physical fence.
No.
They had that.
They had that.
With the swords and stuff.
Yeah. They competed.
I'm thinking I did that at least once or twice. Like I don't think I can't remember. I remember going to one of those things to try it out.
Well, my wife graduated from out there. She graduated. She has a business degree out there, and I went to school. And actually, the building that's in the center, we designed that building the year I was out there in the architectural engineering program. They took there was a class, and we actually designed that building. We actually did the floor plan. We did then they built it several years later when they got the funding.
Yeah.
But
so we were lucky. We were experiencing Penn State. At that point there was hope. There was some growth. Mm-hmm. We got to get back to that. We can't do that for the entire county on every issue. But this is an issue. I'm sure there's enough community will out there. Yeah. But they need to start having their rallies. They don't need to preach to the saved and have them on campus.
We need to start. Rally,
and Penn State, as a rule, I know they like to stay out of politics, and I get why they do that. But politics doesn't have to stay out of Penn State. The politicians can set these rallies up and grassroots and things because, they can lean on the newspaper. Yeah. The Trib does a great job reporting on what's going on at Penn State. That'd be
the Greensburg paper.
Yeah,
the Trib. Now we have 4 papers. We have the Post Gazette that comes into Fayette County. We have the Tribune Review, and then we have the Connersville Courier, which I think would want to grab a hold of this and take it as far as they possibly could.
Right.
And, I'm just curious, the
Herald. I don't even know if they even have a reporter.
I don't know how the Herald lets a story former state legislator gets in trouble again still. How many appeals for second chance? The guy just keeps getting in trouble, and there's more to this than just what's there. They're not. And then I look at how they handle the coverage, John, with the situation with you and me, but more you with this, with the election integrity stuff and how they spin that. So as I look at every issue that the local papers tackle, it appears that they are working exclusively for incumbents, and for the Fayette County swamp, you may as well. I don't mean to sound like Donald Trump, but it's bad here. Yeah. Whenever you have important issues that and let's go to another one, the injection well.
Yeah.
The injection well issues that we were intimately involved in, and I like to think instrumental in helping to get those things stopped. We had to pay. Why is it, John, that you have to buy time on the radio to bring these issues out, and then even on this radio station, I hear different commentators, trying to spin and say what you said isn't accurate and things like that. Just report the truth. There's enough issues and enough problems, and if we dig into them, we shine a light on those problems. Right. Sunshine's the best disinfectant for cleaning up our local government.
Well, I often think, well, you talk about the election issue, and I don't want to get off into too much about that, but even the NFL, if there's something wrong, you throw a red flag and they take another look at it, and that's all we're wanting them to do. It's just that simple. I said that in court. Judge Leskin listened to me, and he said, we have to really think about this. That's
you spend all your time trying to turn the other guy or the other side and beating them up and villainizing them and things like that, and that's just a waste of effort. We have to come together and solve these problems in the community. And it seems like anytime you point out a problem, and I'm not running for anything now, and I just want to but we got to keep pointing out these problems. Mm-hmm. And the commissioners are in a position to make change and to fix things, and so are our representatives, and they need to start doing it.
Well, just think about this. Heartland, the barge that builds the barges down in Brownsville. It's on our side of Brownsville. It's on the Fayette County Brownsville side. But anyways, right now they're advertising that they'll start you out at, I believe it was $17 an hour, but most of the guys are starting out at $22 is what I'm being told, with benefits. If you have any kind of welding skills, and from what I understand, and you can do some fabricating, because what they do is they fix a lot of barges in there too. They're paying some of them guys up to $39 an hour. That's it, and they're. I know that sounds like, but that's in Brownsville,
right?
And I've been barking about Brownsville since last February when we were sitting here. Take been saying there is potential there, and we need to find the money to figure out how to renew Brownsville and how to take care of it.
And the reality is, I think we could do it if with focused approach to our problems. Working on the important things first, and not spending time and effort to try to alienate the other guy and say, well, look, marginalized like John in this election. This election stuff's critical. We got to get it right.
Right.
We have to get the election right. Your vote has to count. People have to have faith in the system, and you got to quit. They got to quit marginalizing people and address these real issues and not create new ones. I mean, you only have a limited amount of time and energy and effort, and our politicians are the people we elected to. We said we're going to pay you to try to fix some of these problems. And then they're working on crazy things like a bridge, $40 million bridge, and Penn State's out there. I mean, Penn State won't say it, but they're in trouble. They're having a lot of pressure. They don't want to. But every politician knows it. Where are we at? Where are we rallying for Penn State or not?
Well, my question is it true that you can get a 4-year accredited degree as a Penn State graduate from the Fayette campus now?
Yes, and several.
I feel like that needs to be promoted, because I feel like when you go to the main campus, the cost of living is exponentially higher, I'm sure, than it would be if you came to a remote
It's
campus.
pretty difficult. So they turn people away every year at University Park at the main campus. So a lot of folks will go and they'll work at a different campus and they'll move around. There's a lot of campuses around. Mm-hmm. And, those Commonwealth campuses, that model needs to be preserved. And what it would mean for Fayette, that it would be hard. When we lose our movie theater, I said Fayette County doesn't even have a movie theater.
Well, I'm just
nobody, and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
I have to leave to see a
Right.
movie theater. Well, what happens when you have to leave to do other things?
Right. So what I'm trying to get at is that if, like you said, if Penn State main campus is now having to turn down people, but our Fayette campus and these remote, campuses are offering 4-year degrees that you would, or, a certificate of a bachelor's degree or whatever that would hold the same weight as University Park. I mean, that's a great way to promote people to come to our county, saying, if you're looking for this degree, Fayette County offers it, and maybe draw some of those people to come to our county to live and then spend their money in our county.
And
right?
the other thing too is you know what? It's windy at Fayette campus. There's no doubt about it. Anybody that's went there knows what winter's
Especially
like.
In the winter, all the dead batteries.
Yeah. So anybody knows what it's like. But one thing about it, it is a pristine area out there. It is beautiful. They have concerts out there.
They do so much.
They do so many things out there.
Their local fund, they raise more money. Our Fayette campus than any other campus, like $90-some thousand.
Yeah.
There's basketball tournaments out
Yes,
there.
they do.
They used to. They used to.
Don't they still do? Okay, they don't.
But they had it, and it was like a week long. It was what? It was like the division.
It was USCA.
Okay, yeah. But it was their version of March Madness.
Yeah.
I
remember
they bring a lot of people
to
in to stay in the hotels and hitting our restaurants and things.
Yeah.
Well, right now though, this is what I'm saying. We've got to politically, the politicians should be rallying to help Penn State every way they can. They should be. Mm-hmm. They should be more out there, and I'd like to see
promoting,
that.
And the schools promoting
we'll never. It's a lot easier to keep them than it will be to ever bring them back.
There's no doubt about that. So, what else do we have? We have anything else other than
that was it? Just we hit a little bit on everything.
The Fourth Estate. People, I don't think people really realize what's going on.
It's kind of a decline. In the decline of the county, you're seeing a decline in the newspapers. There's a lot of but the world's changing. We're not keeping up, folks. We have to try to do a better job of keeping up. Mm-hmm. And we've got to do what we can to make our county better and more livable.
Yeah.
We do. I mean,
focus on the real problems, and the energy's out there and the desire's out there.
One of the things,
we got to report the truth. We got to be truthful.
Well, we
need ethical leaders. We can't have leaders that end up getting in all kind of trouble and everything like that.
We need to promote what's great about Fayette County, and we need to fix the things that are wrong so that we can...
One of the things we're going to be talking about in the near future is the development of these hydrogen hubs. And I've been doing a lot of research. I've been talking to a lot of different people, and I actually got an engineer that I talked to for a while today, because they're looking for different plots of land. And but he's telling me that the amount of energy it takes to produce the hydrogen to make the same amount of energy from like propane, or not propane, but from natural gas, you lose 40%. So it's kind of like a boondoggle with the, and I'm talking to somebody that understands energy in a big way.
Sure.
So, but I guess there's some stuff slated for. There might be some stuff slated for maybe Fayette County that they're going to look, because we have an abundance of natural gas.
Right. Now, what I hope we capitalize on that for the people, though, and don't just what we traditionally do, just give all our wealth away out of Fayette County to just a few select individuals.
His theory is we'd be better off to put a natural gas powered plant and electric generation plants, and forget the hydrogen and just produce electric and sell the electric out to different places, because everybody's in a situation right now where the energy is going to become a big problem in the next few years, because
Fayette County should be at the forefront of energy.
We should
no doubt about it.
Yep. And
no doubt about it.
And we do have a couple of these plants already in Fayette County, on the Fayette County side of the river, across from where the old Hatfield was, and we need to develop a situation. We need to do it in a big way, because we need to use our resources to make this happen. I mean, the wells are drilled. Here. There are
right. They've capped a lot of them, and those folks aren't getting residuals.
Yeah,
you know.
And so and that's one of the things we're going to dive into in the next few weeks here with some other things. The other thing is, I want to tell everybody we got. The sheriff's going to be coming back on. He got some more information about some of the things that's happening with the borders. He's going to be coming back on with me next Tuesday.
My friend and I were just talking about that the other day, being at Walmart and being surrounded by a bunch of foreign people talking many different languages. She said she felt like she was in the city of Babel, and I agreed. And then one foreigner came up to me and asked me what my where I'm from, and I was really confused by it, because I'm like, what is he talking about? And then when I finally realized, because he had a really thick accent, he was like asking me because he thought that I wasn't just American, because I looked a little different. And so I told him, my mom's from Korea, and I asked him where he was from, and he said Jordan, and his buddy was from Iran. So it was just...
Well, we all came from somewhere.
Right.
We're going to see a lot of immigration into this country.
Right.
And a lot, I think, into Fayette County specifically.
And
I think it's coming.
And I don't think there's not anybody sitting in this room that has a problem with anybody coming here, as long as they do it legally.
Right.
As long as they do it by law. I mean, I went through this. I know, not myself, but with a granddaughter that we brought here, that my daughter brought here. And I tell you what, if you're going to have somebody come to the United States and you're going to adopt them, I'll tell you what, it's a big deal. I mean, I had to meet with federal marshals. I did.
Right.
With ISIS and
that's great that you guys did that, John. I mean, anytime you can.
Yeah, she was 14 at the time, and everybody thinks about it, but we had a lot of people that pulled for us and tried to help us out as much as they could. But I will tell you that it's not for the faint of heart. But anyways, Gino, I'm glad you was able to stop in. I know you got a class that you got to get to. He's got.
Thanks for having me.
He's going to learn how to spell tonight.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got about 10 minutes left, and we actually got some more commercials to throw in here. One of the things I want to tell everybody, I was down Bell Vernon at the fish fry down at the Fireman's Fish Fry down there on Friday night, and I'll tell you what, it was excellent. I'll tell you what, them guys, them firemen down there are doing a good job. I got a phone call from another place, and I didn't ask him if I could do this, but I'm going to do it anyways, I guess. It's called Cold Patch Pizza, and it's in Smock. Cold Patch Pizza, and the pizza is out of this world. My grandson happens to work here, but We picked up a pizza there, and I'm trying to spotlight all these different places. And if you have a small business or something, please, I'll let you know. Let me know about it, because I mean, especially food. Me and Nick like to eat. Oh, boy. Yeah, so
I do too. Don't leave me out.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I was trying.
Well, you went and got some pork chops this afternoon
I
at Murphy's
did.
Meat Market. Is
Yeah,
that right?
Murph's Meat Market and what was it? Murph's Meat Market and it. When I walked in there, I just felt like it's such a quaint little, like place to go buy meat, and it's local. So, and I was reading some of the things that they had on their counter, and they're really big into supporting local businesses and buying local, and they support 4-H, which everybody knows, they raise the best of the best animals because they show them in the fair, and then they get prizes, and then they get to sell their animals. So, it was 20% off of freezer meat today. I don't know if that's every Tuesday, but so I got 6 pork chops, 3 pounds of ground pork, and 2 pounds of ground meat for $31, which I thought was really great. I don't know, John. Do you think that's a good price since you're a local butcher?
I'm dated, but I can remember cutting pork chops for 99 cents a pound. So,
with inflation,
and end cuts were 79. So, but I mean, that would be when they would be on sale. But ground pork, actually, we made so. I mean, they made. When I worked when I was apprentice at Peachin's, I can't even tell you how many hundreds of pounds of sausage we would make every day.
Oh my gosh.
They made hot sausage for like 2 or 3 hours every day. I mean, it just never stopped. Never stopped. Yeah.
Fundraisers, and then right.
But and you know what? I appreciate. I mean, it was a time of, and of course I worked at Moss's too. Moss's isn't there no more either, and we used to sell. Dale Moss was he was big on selling Purdue chickens and New York strip steaks, and and ground meat. Oh my! I remember one day we ground almost 2 tons of ground meat.
Oh geez!
On a Sunday.
Wow.
They ground meat for 88 cents a pound.
Yeah.
And we sold ground meat for, and back then you could just call it ground meat. You didn't have to. It was just ground chuck. Meat. We called it ground chuck is what we did. And I actually, the guy that was running the grinder, he was a good friend of mine. Me and him went to school together, and we actually It was pretty. It was he come out and got mad. He come out and yelled at me. He says, "You got to come in here. It's so cold in here. I'm freezing. You got to come in here and spell me." And he'd been in there for like 7 hours. So, but anyways, you have some other things we want to bring up.
We do. We have a couple of announcements. We don't want to forget about John's Mystery Most Wanted dinner that he's having. Entertainment is a group out of the Pittsburgh Dinner Theater, and they're coming to put on a show, a murder mystery, but it's cowboy style this time. The last one we went to was really fun, and there's going to be a lot of good food, a lot of prizes for the best costume. So bring your best cowboy or cowgirl gear and come join us. But you don't have to dress up if you're not into that. The entertainment itself is really fun. So that's Friday, March 22nd. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you better get them soon before they're sold out. They're $50 a person or $90 a couple. Mm-hmm. And that is going to be at the Haydentown Fire Hall. That's 175 Haydentown Road, Smithfield, PA 15478. And if you need tickets, call Patty at 724-322-7349. And that'll be a good time. My husband and I are definitely going. And then there's a March Madness Bingo, and that's Saturday, March 9th at 2:30. The doors open at 2:30. It's for Twisted Twine Outdoors Club. They're a nonprofit organization that's geared towards getting kids off the couch and off the devices and out into the great outdoors. And they host a fishing event, and they do a pumpkin event, and they do another event during the year. And they also provide backpack full of supplies for kids in need at the beginning of the school year so that they can start their school year out right. And they have a bunch of really great Chinese auction items. And if you go to the Twisted Twine Facebook page, they have been posting those awesome Chinese auction baskets. They're going to have an early bird bingo specials, Chinese auction 50-50, and small games of chance. So it's kind of like a cash bash, except instead of the numbers being called off for the different amounts of cash, you get to play bingo instead. So all of those extra fun things are going to be included, and that's March 9th. And the tickets are $25, and if you don't have cash, they're accepting PayPal and other electronic means of payment, and you can get a hold of...
Go to their Facebook.
Their Facebook
Go to
page.
Facebook and you can figure it all out.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
And the Second Amendment shoot,
the
right?
Second Amendment shoot is for the Republican Party, and that's going to happen in April. Go to the Fayette County Republican Party Facebook page. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to see that.
So if you know anybody that's doing clay target shooting or the trap shooting or whatever that are into these the clay shooting clubs, this is a great way to do something different and to hone their skills in a different way.
Yep. And
support a great cause.
Second
Amendment.
It's a good thing. One of the get out to all the fish fries. Help these firemen out, and people really enjoy that.
Local fire departments.
I think this week I'm going to be at West Lyson Ring, I think, for lunchtime. And then I got to get to, I promised the ladies down in Brownsville I'd stop over there too. So I guess we'll figure all that out. I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
If you know of any local fish places, let us know because we want to try them out.
Yes.
Yeah, Nick enjoys that. Nick enjoys that.
I do.
Tell us what your favorite sides are, because I'm looking for
absolutely.
good sides too, right? Who has the best
isn't?
pierogies or halushki or desserts? We want to know.
Yes.
And we'll be
Give us
more
your
than happy to
recommendation.
rate them on the show if you'd like us to.
Yeah. And there was one other thing I was thinking about, but we need to all get together and get behind, like Gino said. And if there's phone calls need to be made to the governor's office or do whatever we can to help Penn State out, I really want to see them thrive. I really do. I mean, this is something that needs to happen. So
start promoting them.
yeah, and it's our children and our grandchildren that are being affected by this stuff.
Yeah, we most certainly don't want educational facilities leaving. We want them to stay so that, we have the opportunity to have a local place for our kids to go, but also to bring other people in to help our economy as well.
Okay, so we're down to the last 45 seconds here, so I might as well go ahead and close up. While on this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes, but never regret. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you. God bless America. And I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.